The next dimension tool we'll look at is this one right here, which is the adjust space. From this flyout, you can see there's a couple of different ways to use it. I can use it to take a lot of parallel dimensions and space them evenly if I want, or I can take linear dimensions and make them all line up if they currently do not. So if you click the adjust space button, the first question it's going to ask is select the base dimension. So in other words, which one is correct, which one do I want to start with as a reference point. I'm going to start with this one, the 1.5. So we're going to say it's correct. So I would select it. Now my question or my statement changes to select dimensions to space. So I've got a couple of different problems. I've got the 0.63 and the 0.63 here that really need to line up with the 1.5. These should all be lined up together to create a chain of dimensions. And I have the 2.75, which is way too far to the left of this 1.5. It doesn't. The spacing is not correct. So we're going to start with the 2.75. I want to bring it down. So what I can do is select it as the dimension I want to space, and it's going to allow me to select as many as I want. So if I had more dimensions to the top and bottom of the 2.75, I could select those as well, since they would all need to be in a line together. But right now I just have this 2.75. So I'm through selecting my dimensions that I want to space. So I'd hit enter, right click, and it's going to say enter value or auto. If I choose auto, it's going to automatically space it to a distance of 0.1875. That's the CAD default value. So if I choose auto, it'll move it down to where there's a distance between them of 0.1875. So if I measure that, the distance from dim line to dim line is 0.1875. Okay. If I wanted a different distance, if I decided, that's too close, which really it is for this particular size text and everything, I could again use the space tool, adjust space, select this as my base, it's correct, I want it to stay there, and then select this as the dimension I want to actually space from that point, and then through selecting objects, right click or hit enter, and instead of doing auto, enter a value, and you just type it in. Even though there's no text box up here that looks like you can type in, you just type in the value. So let's say I want to do 0.25. I want to do 1/4 inch. So I would just type in 0.25, hit enter, and it moves that dimension up to that space. So now my distance from dim line to dim line should be 0.25, which it is. So that's one way to do it, and I can do that with as many dimensions as I want to. The other way to use it is to take a series like these three that should be lined up to create a chain and are not right now, and I'll automatically do that instead of having to do them one at a time. So I can use adjust space. Again, select this as my base, it's correct. What dimensions do I want to space? I want to select this one and this one in this particular example. When I'm through selecting the two that I want to space, right click or hit enter, of course. And then for the value, I don't want to use auto, I don't want to choose that at all, but for the value, if I just hit 0, type in 0, and then hit enter, it'll make those two line up with this one that I just told it was correct as the base dimension. So again, that can be used a lot of different ways, a lot of different situations, to take a lot of dimensions and line them up, create spacings that are accurate, those sorts of things. And again, just to do one more example, if I chose adjust space and used this as my base dimension to say, hey, I want this one to stay where it's at. What do I want to adjust? I want to adjust this one, and that one. Now I'm through selecting my dimensions. Right click. Let's say I just wanted to do an auto adjust on these, and you can see it brought those up to where this space and this space are now auto adjusted for that particular distance. That obviously is not exactly uniform, but that's what it's doing. It's taking each individual dimension and spacing it the same distance apart. So from here to here is 0.1875, and then from here to this point is 0.1875. So here to here 0.1875, here to here 0.1875. But because these were separate, it just kind of staggered them for me. So it does a lot of different things, and you just have to use it to the best of your ability for the situation that you need.